Hello everyone, these are the last two journals I'm doing this fall. I had said I had 8 covers and I ended up just doing 5, save 3 for next year. So these are the last 2, so I thought we do a quick flip through of these. This one I'm calling the Blue Pilgrim Girl because that's just, I don't know, the blue fabric on this journal. And then she's a pilgrim girl. So anyway, she is from Graphics Fairy, and I loved her. I used her for another journal, and I printed her out bigger for this one. She has a lace doily behind her and this little floral arrangement I got at Hobby Lobby, and I got a little bit of bling there. So that's the cover. I made a little dangle out of 2 buttons and a bead. And if that's in your way, you can always remove it. It won't affect anything. I closed it with this, it's fabric that was around a pillow I bought, and took the pillow apart because I wanted other elements. Then I sewed this on some lace, so it's kind of double-sided, so that's what I wrapped around it. Okay, it's made from a 9 by 12 envelope that I covered with the fabric, and it's upholstery fabric, so it's very thick. And on the inside, it's got scrapbook paper. I covered it. And mainly in this journal, I used mainly scrapbook paper, very few digitals. The digitals are mainly for decorations, and we'll talk about those as we get to them. And this first pocket is made from scraps. The scrapbook paper, I just made it a double pocket and decorated it with a little bit of music. And this little mesh right here that you can see is that mesh that comes in a roll that you use to patch a hole in your sheetrock in your wall. And so anyway, I thought I like that as a little background element. And this pumpkin is a die. I have a quick cuts die, and I showed several videos back how I can cut those using my Big Shot. And inside this pocket is a journaling card I made out of this wedding invitation, and I had got the whole box of it at the thrift store for a big $1. And what I love about it, it has the invitations, and they're not printed on yet, and you can do whatever you want to with those. And then it's got the big envelopes, it's got small envelopes and return RSVP cards, plus it's got the ribbon, and it also has vellum. So there's all sorts of stuff in those wedding kits. So anyway, that is in this pocket, and in this one is another piece of scrapbook paper. Get it upside down. And this digital is from Antique Paperie. She has a kit called 10 number 66, and I liked it because it had the key. And then this flower just made from some punches. So that's our opening pocket, and we have scrapbook paper here. And I showed a couple of videos back how to make this string art element, and I think it makes a great corner tuck. So there's a pocket there. This is a file folder from Artzology's Hello Autumn kit, and it's from I think her kit includes everything, but I may be wrong about that because it's been a long time. But I know there's a lot of elements that go with it. This is a piece of copy dye paper that I sewed this really sheer fabric on. It was like an overlay on a dress, so I stitched around it. This is some paper that I got that's goes through your printer, so you can write your notes here, and I love the patchwork around it. This is scrapbook paper, and then I took a piece of that wedding invitation that I cut down for the journaling card, and then I took some scraps of fabric and just glued them on there and then stitched them. So it's just like a little patchwork edge for this pocket, and then some of the scraps are here. And this is a file folder that I made out of lined paper from a notepad, and then inked it up and tore it to look like a file folder, and then put some more flowers that I made for some punches. Okay, this is a fabric ruffle that's stitched onto this copy dyed paper. Scrapbook paper with a tab made out of scraps of fabrics. This is some of the leftover scrapbook paper made into a pocket. It's kind of hard to see because it really blends in here, but there is a collage of 2 pumpkin dies and some fabric. And this mushroom is from Took's Craft Table, her mushroom fussy cuts, and I just made that label and just did some collage. This here is some deli paper that I just cleaned my stamps off on, and then it's on some music paper that I've backed with some paper you can write on and stitch around it. And this is just a scrap of the paper, and I love this paper with the blue pumpkin, so that's why I went ahead and worked up these last 2 journals, because I love that paper. So here it is in full. And I didn't do a lot with the white pages. I wanted you to have plenty of writing space, so I tried to keep all the pockets and things on the scrapbook paper. So let's see, where were we? Finished that one. We looked at that paper. This is a piece of scrapbook paper. I made it to a journaling card. This envelope is one of the ones from the wedding invitations, and I just put this little cluster on there to kind of hold the flap. And then I decorated it with a stamp, a washi tape that's like a photo stamp, not a photo, a regular stamp that you would mail something with. And then I took a leaf that I have the die cut for and cut it out of some of the scrapbook paper. And then I had some more, I have several flower punches, and I made some flowers, and it's got a little sequin there. Anyway, inside this envelope, this is the envelope that you would send the RSVP cards in. RSVP, yeah. So anyway, here's the card. I didn't do anything to it. Might have got some ink on it. And I just put it in here, so lots of writing space on that. It goes across this scrapbook paper. And we'll tuck that in and clip it on. Okay, scrapbook paper. This is from Artzology again. I just cut it and made it into a little side tuck. And just a different collaged journaling card. This is wallpaper. That's napkin. I stitched around it. I have some lace on the tops and bottoms of this side pocket. And it's on the back of that. Scrapbook paper. There's the center. And like here, like I said, here's the beads. If you wanted to, you can just cut that off. It wouldn't bother anything. What I call a messy journaling spot. Can't really write on the brown, so I have this blue paper. I just did some crazy stitching around. You can write on it, and there's a fabric cluster. On this, it's like a journaling booklet, so you can write inside. And I just did collage work with them. Napkin, and this is a fabric spine of another flower element, and inside it I put a journaling card made out of leftover scrapbook paper. I put a tab on it, and this is cut from a book. So you can journal on that, and you can journal inside. And here is a pocket I made from that wedding invitation, and another cluster made out of two different leaf dies. And this is, I think Rachel showed how to do these on Roxy's Creations, and it's just like different elements, like scraps that you can use in your journal. And she sewed hers in, but since mine had some napkin pieces, I didn't really want to sew it because then it would really tear it up. So I just paper clipped it, and I've got scraps of paper, some ribbon, and here's some of that deli paper I was talking about that you just clean your stamps off on so you can use it in collage. So all of this is just clipped in here, put in this pocket, and I already talked about all that, didn't I? Okay. Try not to get that napkin crunched up too much. Another fabric tab, pocket made out of scrapbook paper with a stacked sticker, so it's stacked label, so it's an actual label sticker. And I just put all these little bits and pieces that were probably on my desk or leftovers from something on there. It makes a stacked sticker. This is a tag made out of just collage background and some fabric, and that is I think that's that. You know the rolls of crepe paper? I think that's part of that. I had a purple roll, so I just glued it on like tissue paper, and I made a label out of a doily die. Okay. It's another fabric label. Fabric ribbon. Yeah. On the edge, there's that paper with the fabric overlay. I took made a belly band out of book page, lace, and a fabric cluster. And then behind it is a journaling card this is a napkin background. And then I put a little bit of leftover fabrics there, and then the birds. And we're to the back pocket, which is another double pocket made out of the scraps of the scrapbook paper. One thing about these 12 by 12 pages, I had pretty substantial scraps left over, so I tried to use most of it. Okay, I made a tag out of some of it, and it's got a fabric tab, and this is from Tuke's Craft Table, the mushroom fussy cuts, and another journaling card with just different collage works on there, including the leaf dies, and at the bottom we have the pumpkin dies. So anyway, that is this journal. It's going to be for sale on my Etsy shop. Should be there now if you're watching this. And let's move on to this one. I'll try not to go into as much detail because it's kind of the same digital kits and stuff. So we'll see how fast we can go. Now the closure on this is a belt. I was at the thrift store and I was walking by and I saw that belt and I thought that's great colors for this journal, and I think I can make it smaller, so I did. I cut off about 1.5 feet of this, I think. And what's nice about it is I made it really big. Well, not real big, but this journal can expand out and you still would be able to put the closure on it because you got all this extra. And another thing I like about it is you can, you don't have to, it doesn't have holes you have to match up. You can poke it through anywhere on this belt. So it can be any size and you can still close it. So anyway, we had the belt closure. This, oops, I'm moving my background. It's got upholstery fabric on the front, and I didn't do a thing to it. I started to, and then I thought, oh, I'm covering up the hibiscus. And I thought, no, I'm covering up the rose. So I decided not to do anything to it, just leaving it just like this. And it's even pretty on the back. So whoever gets this can decorate it however they want. So anyway, I got fabric on the front. It's stitched to an envelope, a 9x12. And then I have fabric on the inside. So lots of fabric and a nice sturdy cover. This is a envelope made out of a business envelope. No, it's a pocket made out of a business envelope. How's that? You use the end with the window in them, and then you have all these stubby ends, so that I'm making a pocket out of it. So I covered it with scrapbook paper and this fussy slow stitch little element here. And then inside of it is a index card that's got stickers on it I bought a scrapbook kit at Salvation Army, and it had all sorts of elements like stickers and had the papers, of course, and just different punch outs. So I used them throughout this journal and several others. Okay, this is from a scrapbook pad, and I have no clue which one. Okay, scrapbook paper, and I made this library pocket just out of it was just probably a page from a book that didn't have any writing on it, and I just used my distress inks and just decorated it. There's more of those stickers. This is a journaling card I made out of some lined paper, and this was from Rita. Let me make sure I get this right here. Rita Schoeman, Dunbar, and I don't know anything about it. It was just in my junk journal files, and I thought I need it, so I printed it out and made sure I knew who it was. Scrapbook paper. This is just a little border on the edge of the page. It's made out of different scraps, and these are from the scrapbooking kit. They were really thin paper, so I backed them, so they're thin little journaling card or tags. This is in paper from a book, and I just included it because I like the colors, and it's really aged on the back. Got washi tape to kind of hinge it together with its other side. This is an envelope from Artzology's Hello Autumn, and I glued this one on, so it's a tuck. And here's another one of those file folders with stickers on it. And on this side, you can flip the envelope out, and you can reach in there, and you can get this out. And it's an invitation, and you could write on it. And I just like the fall flowers, and if you want to, you can cut those out and use them to decorate the pages with. So including that there. We have a silk leaf and just some items like collage there. I made a little tuck out of it. This was probably from a Kleenex box that I have a die that cuts these tag shapes, and that is a sticker from that scrapbook kit. This is some ribbon that's really stiff, and it makes great tabs. Some burlap that I just made a collage on with a silk leaf and some the die cuts you've seen before. And this is a Wheeladex card. Talked about those a lot, and I've got stickers on there. This I found in my stash, something I got somewhere, probably Dollar Tree, and it's really thin, but you still can write on it, and it just kind of helps decorate that page. Some more of that paper, stationery paper. The scrapbook kit had a bunch of these frames, and I just glued it on. And I decided to slide this in there, but I could have put some acetate there, and it would have made it a little bit easier to slide in, but you still can write on it this way. So I kind of like that idea of writing inside the frame. This is a picture I cut from a magazine, and just love that girl, and the colors to me are fall, so I put it on an index card with a tab, and it goes in this frame. And it frames her just perfectly. Now this is another flower I made with my punches. I have a video showing how I made the patchwork pumpkin, and I use it as a tuck. And this is a journaling card that's just made from book page and lined paper and napkins and a little bit of scrapbook paper, and I stitched around it. tab made out of that trim. This is a belly band made out of book page and this really thick braid trim. I'm not sure what you want to call it, but I love the colors. I had this burlap leaf in my stash and also had this felt leaf in my stash. So I thought they decorated that journaling card very well. I mean, not journaling card, belly band. Inside of it, I have this, and it is a quote from Anne of Green Gables. And I'm pretty sure it came from a scrapbook paper pad because it's got this on the back. So it's not a digital. I spent a few minutes trying to find it and I realized it's not a digital. I put this greeting card inside in the center of the signature. You could close it up and make it a pocket if you want, or you can keep it open and you can write here. You can put something on the back. So I just left it up to you to do whatever you want to with it. This is scrapbook paper. This is a napkin that's been put on cardstock and then this really big silk leaf I just glued on there. So we got leaves on leaves. Scrapbook paper left over, a little piece of lace for a tab, and this turkey was a big sticker I had in my stash. So I had a lot of stuff in my stash, and I've used up quite a bit of it, but I still have 2 project boxes full of stuff left over. This pocket is made from scrapbook paper I got a long time ago, and this is some tulle I got last year, I think, at Dollar Tree, and it's real clear mesh here, but then you got those metallic leaves on there. So I just stitched it onto the scrapbook paper, made a pocket. This is left over from a scrapbooking kit. That same one, I'm sure I got the other elements out of. This was in my stash. It's the end of a piece of paper I cut a long time ago, so you can write on it. Now this is a digital. I looked and looked, and I can't find where I got it. I was thinking it was from Junk Journal Inspirations Facebook group, but when I went to look, it wasn't. So I'm not sure. So if anyone knows where that's from, please tell me. Okay, this is a note card. I love the backgrounds, definitely fall colors. I put a sticker on there and some words. It says Harvest Happiness. Open it up. You can write here. And also it is a belly band, so you can stick, or did I make it? Nope, it's a belly band. You can go all the way through. This is scrapbook paper. I just folded it in half and cut it to be like a tag. And we'll put it there behind. This is a pocket that either Gail showed how to make it or Natasha at Treasure Books. I'm not sure exactly where she's at. But anyway, one of them showed how to make this pocket. So I had it in my stash, so I glued it on there. That's a die cut I have. This is from that Rita Schoeman Dunbar. And I just made it to journaling card. Sorry, hit the camera. I'm standing and it makes me hit the camera. And then this is the index card with just a bunch of different elements collaged on there. So we have 2 different tucks there. Another tab. This is another envelope, and I glued it as well, and just all this different cluster stuff to kind of add to the tuck. Scrapbook paper left over, some doily, and then some die cuts. So it makes a big tag, and then here I just decorated it with a picture from an old vintage 5-ring binder, gardening one, the die cuts, a sticker, scrapbook paper, and inside, here's another sticker here if you're still in frame. Index card, I just put a little collage on. An old index, it's not index, bingo card. Okay, this is the other side of that real fragile book in papers, but I think you can write there and it'd be fun. If by chance it did break, then that's no big deal. It's just a piece of paper you can put in one of the pockets. It doesn't affect the signature any. Here's another frame. I left this one blank. You can write here if you want. And if you want, you can put something in, or if it bothers you, just glue it down. But I think it just kind of does a little something with that white page. This is a sticker just of a vine. And the back here is some fabric. This is eyelet, yellow eyelet. I added some other fabric, which is orange there. Stitched them together. I think you can see that. Added one of my flowers. And this leaf, I have one that I cut from the Ellison die machines when I was in still teaching school. And I had it. It was laminated construction paper. So I thought, you know, I can use that to trace around. So I did. I traced around, cut it out, and it makes a cute little journaling card. It's a little bit more sturdier than that other leaf I showed you. These are 2 journaling cards from Artzology. It is her fall ephemera kit. Okay, so that is the end of this journal. I hit the camera again. So it will be for sale in my Etsy shop if anyone's interested. And I thank you very much for watching all the way through, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.